In the world of commercial laundry, we know plant operations can be overwhelming. But the team here at Spindle knows it doesn't have to be that way. And that's where Chris comes in. His introduction to laundry actually started with Spindle's parent company, Dober.
At the time, Dober was a chemical supplier to the industry. We were servicing wastewater and washfloor chemistry needs. Along the way, we actually started writing software for our chemical feed system.
Liquid feed system is the most advanced, functionally simple chemical delivery system available.
And the software was used to track the main KPIs on a washfloor, the turn times, the chemical use, how well they were loading the machines.
So, Dober was a chemical supplier to commercial laundries and started writing software to understand performance of the washroom equipment. Eventually, they started expanding to the rest of the laundry facility, mainly because that's what customers wanted.
A lot of the customers were asking for the vendors in the industry to have their different systems talk to one another instead of these islands of information that were out there.
And when we asked Chris how the vendors responded, he said,
there wasn't great progress. And that was really the birth of Spindle formally into the industry, solving this challenge that the industry was having on disparate systems.
So, this commitment to customers is what led Spindle down the path of managing commercial laundry operations. It's also the same commitment that has helped Spindle users like Meredith and Dawn improve the efficiency of their plant.
Before Spindle, we knew we were spending a lot of money and a lot of time to try to get production counts that we really didn't know if we could feel good about.
All of our production was done manually, so we actually had a full-time employee, and before the start of every day, they would have to go around and they would have to manually clear the count on every single piece of equipment, and then they would have to finalize the scores from the previous day once production got off.
Sounds like Dawn's team was spending a lot of time manually collecting data before they could even act on it. But that wasn't the only problem she was having.
The accuracy of the data. You use your production numbers to determine your staffing, your workflow, your ability to fill orders within a normal shift period. When you're manually taking production, you are relying on humans.
So to recap, Dawn and her team were spending a lot of time manually tracking their production numbers, and on top of that, they were dealing with outdated and inaccurate data. Doesn't sound great. To fix this, she was going to need a little help to get Spindle up and running. And that's where Jess comes in.
When we launched them, they didn't have any recording of data. If they did, it wasn't right. Dawn and I built a relationship with the pain points of really engaging with their employees and getting them to interact with the interface of Spindle.
And instantly, they started seeing productivity boosts from Spindle's displays. But there was more to uncover. From there, Jess and the customer success team had to dig deeper to really understand what was going on.
They see things that stand out to them. So then Jessica talks to me and says, hey, explain this to me. What does this look like in your plant? And then I explain to her what our operation is.
And the cycle begins. Data's collected, data's analyzed, questions come up.
How long does that take, and how many times do they do that throughout the day?
Changes are made. Production scores improve.
Between my knowledge of production and her knowledge of data, we married the two.
Data's collected, data is analyzed. Questions come up, changes are made, production scores, you get it.
Thank you, Jessica.
When we moved into the software arena, one of the things we recognized is that we did not want to be a solution that would roll out the software and hand over the keys and walk away. Knowing that we're there for the long haul as part of that partnership has been a key ingredient to our success.
Throughout the years, being able to make that phone call and give that hard feedback, or maybe we're given feedback of, oh my God, you hit your goal. That's awesome, high five, what's next? I'm here to support you.
There were a lot of things that we thought were too insignificant to put in the expense and the time to measure. They're not. Our productivity has increased immensely.
You now have active, engaged employees. Over time, the more and more we have used it, we have been able to improve our production scores. It is the most invaluable piece of equipment you will install into your plant.
And even though we've helped Meredith and Dawn figure out how to fold time in their favor, we know We're just getting started.